But now let's try to understand, having so many circulars and updates on policy coming at the same time, we don't want to be caught not understanding what each of them means. So let's talk to the Chief Executive Officer of Star Advisory Limited, Mr. Kevin Ekalufo, joins us virtually from Abuja. Mr. Ekalufo, good morning and thank you for your time.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Great. So a lot of circulars have been coming from the CBN, but the one for yesterday, let's focus on that. So the first one, of course, which I think will affect more people, will be the BTA and PTA. So, but I don't think this is the first time that the central bank is saying that it's only e-channels that can be used. I know there was a time that you could use cards if you want to travel abroad, and then you pay with your cards, although withdrawing cash even outside the country would also cost you more. But I mean, this has been done before, so I guess it's just resuscitating something that has been in existence. I think you've muted, Mr. Ekalufo. Could you check your mute button?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
now?
I can hear you now, yes.
Yes, the reason this circular came about is because the CBN has noted that a number of people apply for PTA and PTA for their travels and maybe cancel their ticket last minute. So they divert this hard currency to other users. And so it's necessary for the regulator to curb the flow of FX because they have a limited supply. If this is not curbed, the rate of flow is not curbed, then we would deplete the reserves pretty quickly, and this would impact the exchange rates.
Then the other one on IOCs, I mean, allowing them to take 50% first and then 50% in 90 days, eventually it means they're still taking their 100%. So does it really make a difference?
Yes, it does. I must say that cash pooling is not a new concept. Almost all companies, large companies, do it. Even local companies do it. If you have multiple branches, you do cash pooling. But when the CBN has to manage a limited supply of dollars, you would need to reduce the rate at which it is going out. Also, it's also a pointer to the fact that there is relatively a run on the dollar, if you would like to put it like that, because a lot of the IOCs would rather sweep out the dollar from their subsidiaries in Nigeria quickly to their home country, because they believe that, anything could happen and their dollars could be held back and it would affect their ability to make investments, whether expansion or acquisition of other oil wells or oil fields in other parts of the world, So what it behoves on the CBN to slow this rate of sweeping of this FX out of our economy. And we are not the first country to have done this. I know that in Asia it's difficult places like China, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, many of these Southeast Asian tigers, for you to do pooling of cash. It might be easy in Europe to do that because they have a singular policy around tax, singular policy around, and they have also a single currency. But when you have a scenario where you are a nation where you have only one source of forex, which is this trading of oil, and there's a limited quantity being sold, you have a limited amount of dollars coming into the economy. You need to slow the rate of this movement of this forex out of the economy.
But isn't that also a discouraging factor for investors? I mean, I don't think we're done with the backlog of repatriated or funds that were not could not be repatriated. So isn't this just going to once again bring uncertainty among investors, foreign investors?
Well, it is possible that could happen, but let's not forget, like I said, Nigeria is not the only country doing this. There are a number of countries who are facing the same challenge and are also not allowing you to just move cash across borders, especially for something high demand like Forex, for a case like Nigeria. Even in Canada, I remember maybe around 2018, there was this issue of cash pooling and the challenges, and corporate sector in Canada had to even form a pressure group to talk to government and see how they can improve the policy to help them to allow for this cash pooling. Because if unchecked, it has negative impacts for any economy. If you can just move money anyhow, at any volume, at any time, it means the country could find themselves in the face.
All right, so what about the third one, which is on price verification system? Help us to understand how that works and this limit that has been moved to plus and minus 15%.
I think that policy that just changed is as a result of the global inflation. Before, the rate was 2.5%. Now they raised it to minus 15 and plus 15 for exports and for imports. The reason for PVS in the first place was to prevent over-invoicing for imports or under-invoicing for exports. Now, as it is with the global inflation, prices of items have gone up. So there is a need to review the pricing mechanism on the PVS for Nigerian imports or exports. So that is the reason behind that policy change.
But all of this, well, we do hope that eventually we would see, because yesterday the Naira dropped again to a new low, about 1,000, more than 1,600. So, I mean, the aim of all of this is to boost the value of the Naira. We hope one way or the other to go to that value, which is the aim of all of this.
But I must say that the CBN is limited in the number of tools it has to solve the problems we're currently facing. A lot of the solutions are outside the purview of the CBN. There's a need for Nigeria to start investing in heavy industries. There's a lot of the manufacturing is light manufacturing, light industries. We need to start investing in heavy industries. We need to have our steel sector start working. We're importing way too many things. A lot of chemicals we're importing for production in Nigeria that should be produced here. We hope with the coming on stream of the Dangote petroleum complex, refinery complex, that some of these chemicals, we start producing them here.
Exactly. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it goes back to the bottom line, which is we need to boost our supply and reduce our import. But thank you so much, Chief Executive Officer of Star Advisory Limited, Mr. Kevin Ekalufo, for your time this morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.